This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com, and I am live here with my weekly review of the points that I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer. And if you're wondering why my face is a little smashed up, it's because I did a promo on the American Chicken, Cody Rhodes, yesterday, actually 2 days ago now, that got a little violent. That is on the Hannibal TV for anyone that wants to see it. Kevin Sullivan, Rick Bassman, and Jerry Jarrett are among the wrestling industry people that called me about it today and told me that they really hope this match happens. Superstar Billy Graham's another one. So let's hope that he has some guts and either fights me in a one-on-one or me versus my Angel of Death. Me and my Angel of Death, Taylor Hendricks, against Cody and Brandy, if he doesn't want to put the title on the line, or if he doesn't want the risk of losing to me one-on-one. And for the fans that say, oh, Hannibal, I thought you didn't like AEW. Now you want to wrestle for them? No. I want to have one fight. Cody Rhodes has an open challenge. That's all I want. My chance to either prove to the world that it's not really an open challenge and he's selecting opponents that he knows he can beat, or that he's a coward that's going to duck real challengers. And I posted a clip of Jerry Jarrett, who believes that he's actually probably more on the side of he's not actually going to fight real challengers. So we'll see what happens, but I have issued the challenge. Feel free to tweet that at Cody Rhodes and at the AEW people if you want to see that fight happening. In WWE news, they are going to be doing their tapings at the Amway Center in Orlando, it appears, going forward for Raw and SmackDown, and that includes SummerSlam. There was some talk that they were going to do SummerSlam in Atlantic City, New Jersey, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. NXT is going to go back to being taped at Full Sail University. With the Performance Center, it's going to go back to being an actual training center for WWE. As we've reported, the trainees, developmental wrestlers, haven't actually been training since the lockdown. All they've been doing is being the fake fans in the audience, making the fake audience reactions and so forth, which would really suck if you're hired to be a wrestler and you end up having to stand around for long periods of time with no chairs, pretending to be excited while they do matches and retake screw-ups in matches and so forth. That just sounds like an absolutely horrible job. Forbes listed The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, as the highest paid actor in the world. Once again, from June 2019 to June 2020, he's listed as earning $87.5 million. Some people like to argue with me that he's not the most successful wrestler of all time, but you can't argue with making $87.5 million in a year. And I don't even know if that includes his Instagram sponsorships and other business money. And people are saying it might be risky for him to be investing in the XFL, but really, that's just pennies to him. He makes so much money and he does need tax write-offs. So it's really a no-lose situation for him with that. And if anyone can make it successful, in my opinion, it would be The Rock. MVP 46, real name Hassan Assad, has announced he has signed a multi-year deal with WWE. I used to know MVP for the brief period of time that I trained in Deep South Wrestling and wrestled for Deep South. MVP was also there during that time, and I like him. He's one of the WWE people I like. Good job signing him. Well-deserved of that contract. Dave Bautista is in talks to be part of the sequel of My Spy. Velveteen Dream, never seen him wrestle. I've only heard the scandalous stuff about him. He returned to action on the August 12th NXT show. I guess he's been off TV since allegations were claimed about him regarding inappropriate behavior. Drew McDonald, also known as Drew McIntyre. I used to accidentally call him Drew McDonald, but now I actually like calling him that because it pisses the couple of fans that he has off. And I don't like him or his fans, so I'll just keep referring to the man in the skirt as Drew McDonald. He made a statement to TV Insider about WWE's declining ratings. Of course, he is the lowest strong champion of all time as far as ratings go, as well as attendance. You can't blame the attendance on him, but you can blame the ratings on him. He said, quote, "The audience that has stuck around are getting to learn about the WWE's characters on a deeper level. Right now, you can really develop your character on a deeper level through this unique lens." Okay, from what I've seen, they haven't exactly been doing Oscar-winning performances on WWE. I've seen this Raw Underground garbage. I've seen the ninja crap that they're doing with these midget ninjas, and it's just terrible. So if you want to call that deeper character development, sure, I call it crap, and that's the reason why people are tuning out. Shayna Baszler turned 40 this past week. She's the third oldest woman on the roster behind Tamina, 42, and Mickie James, 40. So WWE, if you're a female, there's not too many in their 40s. SmackDown did a 0.49 rating last week. Raw did a 0.47 rating this week. AEW did a 0.32 rating this week. And NXT did a 0.16 rating. So Raw and SmackDown are in the 0.4s. AEW is in the 0.3s. They're not that far off from Raw and SmackDown numbers, which is pretty funny. Also in AEW news, Chris Jericho says that he doesn't have interest in ever going back to WWE as he likes the freedom that he has in AEW. Ring of Honor is returning for the very few fans that care. Sometime this month, they're going to be doing television tapings in Baltimore. In other wrestling news, in what may have been the largest wrestling crowd in the U.S. since the pandemic, Warrior Wrestling out of Chicago had an outdoor show at a football field that had more than 500 fans in attendance. Some interesting news regarding Davey Boy Smith Jr. in the Observer. I am supposed to be doing an interview with Davey Boy Smith Jr. next week. I really hope he does it. I know he's a really busy guy. He is, of course, the Hannibal TV heavyweight champion of Great North Wrestling. But according to Dave Meltzer, Davey Boy Smith is under contract to MLW in an exclusive deal until December. However, there is no return date for MLW yet. So Davey Boy Smith Jr. is pretty much not wrestling right now, unfortunately. He has had interest from both AEW, WWE, and Impact. However, his MLW contract has prevented him from going anywhere. Apparently, Impact wanted him to do a program with Ken Shamrock, but MLW didn't want that to happen. But apparently, with this MLW contract that Davey Boy Smith has, he's not getting paid a regular salary, just a per appearance deal, and he's not making any appearances right now. I guess MLW sent a cease and desist order to WWE after Smith appeared on the bump. He was supposed to appear for his dad's WWE Hall of Fame induction as well, but that obviously got nixed. Davey Boy Smith says MLW has reached out to him about renewing his contract once it expires in December. But he says the only problem with renewing the deal is he doesn't know if the company's ever going to run again. he says you take a look at these small businesses, they're all down now and some aren't coming back from this. He hopes MLW comes back, but in the same time, he's unsure if MLW is going to come back. And he says when his contract comes up in December, he's going to see if that would be a good direction, if WWE would be a good direction, NXT UK. But with COVID right now, nothing's really clear. So he has his doubts about the status of a lot of companies by the time that contract expires. And as I've already reported twice, he did receive his purple belt in jiu-jitsu from Rafael Garcia and Ronaldo Roberto del Santos this week. So congratulations to him on that. In other news this week, of course, Kamala passed away last Sunday. I did an interview with Jerry Jarrett today, and Jerry Jarrett went into great detail on Kamala. I'm going to be posting that video probably in the next few hours, so I'm not going to get into Dave Meltzer's story about Kamala because Jerry Jarrett covered most of it in my interview with him. Meltzer basically brought up that WWE had some of its biggest gates for Hulk Hogan matches with the Hogan versus Kamala feud, particularly in the Toronto market and some other major markets. Kamala was a big draw, but he never overall made huge money. His last run in WCW, he was mostly making $500 and $800 a night. And Kamala, I do have a shoot interview with him up on this channel. He does not speak highly of Eric Bischoff at all. He said Eric Bischoff would never talk to him, and he would basically have to go through Hulk Hogan through everything in WCW. In UFC news, Conor McGregor is officially engaged to Devon, his girlfriend of 12 years. They have 2 kids together. The Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. fight has been switched from September 12th to November the 28th. So that's the main news in the Observer this week. I'll go through some of your comments. The Real Frisco, what happened to my forehead? That's from that Cody Rhodes promo. My hand also took a bit of a beating in that promo. Patrick J says, hashtag Cody fears Hannibal, and make sure if you tweet to Cody or Tony Khan or Jim Ross or any of the AEW executives, make sure to use that hashtag, because I believe Cody does fear Hannibal and he is ducking me. That's why he hasn't responded to my openness of accepting his open challenge. I already did a video about all the wrestlers I've beat in my career. I don't think there's really any independent wrestlers that can match pinfalls over AJ Styles, pinfalls over Abdullah the Butcher, all the legends I have faced, from Honky Tonk Man to Kamala to Kevin Nash to Terry Funk, Lanny Poffo, Too Cold Scorpio, Gangrel, Ricky Banderas, James Storm, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Ted Hart, TJ Wilson, Too Cold Scorpio, Psycho Sid Vicious. The list goes on and on and on. But there's one guy I haven't faced, one guy that I would like to punch in the face, and that is Cody Rhodes. Lord Dodja says Cody is a fucking pussy. Chad Anglo-Saxon is talking about some strange stuff that I don't really understand. Walkless Pluto says, I bet they would never let me do the upside down cross in WWE or AEW. Who knows? As I said, I have huge zero interest in ever being in WWE. I would like the one fight in AEW, but I'm an outlaw. I like doing my own thing. Couple more questions here. This guy thinks I'm crazy, Bobby Lipschitz, and that I would fuck Cody Rhodes up. Yes, I would. I agree on that. By the way, I am doing a live interview with the Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr, around 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on this channel, so let's hope that works out. Ronnie Las Vegas tips me $10 and says Eric Bischoff is a genius for convincing Hulk Hogan to join NWO, but he signed all the talent with Ted Turner's money. He's not a real businessman, and everything in WCW ultimately failed. I agree. Fully agree with you. He didn't put his own money on the line for that. Martin Alley, why do I hate Cody? Because he started off straight with a WWE contract. He's had everything handed to him. He's a spoiled little brat. And if he really wants to have, you know what? If he accepts my challenge and he fights me, I'll actually have respect for him. I don't hate him, really. I just want to fight him. That's basically it. His brother, you could say I hate for ripping me and another promoter off many years ago, but I'm over that. But Cody, I just want him to be a man, accept the challenge, and I'll be cool with that. Suplex says I should be in AEW. Well, as I said, I just want the one match. That's it. Whether it's me and my angel of death, Taylor Hendricks, against Cody and Brandy, if he doesn't want to fight me in a one-on-one or a one-on-one match, I don't care. I just want to get my hands on that little puke. Would I do a shoot interview with Samoa Joe? I would, but he's under contract with WWE, and they don't let me interview their wrestlers. Who's winning tomorrow's UFC main event? I hope it's Stipe. Ray from Flint is laughing at Cody's Stardust gimmick. As I said, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I only put out the challenge video yesterday. He can still accept the challenge. If he accepts the challenge, it'll be very interesting. And AEW has not been over 1 million viewers in a very long time. That match would get them back over 1 million viewers. It would definitely happen. I have over 200,000 subscribers, 125 million views on this channel. And not maybe 20% of the people on this channel watch AEW, but most are old school wrestling fans. Jesus Christ and the bastards of the universe say, in 2020, you need to stay out of the gym, out of the sun, and don't eat. I got so pissed off today. I actually went to my gym in Quebec, which I'm never going to go to again, because they wouldn't let me go in with a cutoff shirt on. I mean, what a stupid rule. And I had to drive over an hour round trip. So, you know what? I'm just going to bite the bullet and start working out in Ontario, because that really pissed me off. Ringo says, who is the craziest character I ever interviewed that turned out to be really smart and normal? No, none off the top of my head. Pretty much everyone has been fairly similar to their wrestling characters. Raw Underground has some big dudes. I'm not impressed with Raw Underground. If they have big guys, that's all good. If you like it, that's all good. I'm not into it. I'm into real MMA. That's what I like to watch, and old school wrestling. Springer 90 says Cody Rhodes versus Hannibal on Raw Underground. No, that wouldn't be good. It should be a real wrestling match. It should be a traditional wrestling match, or a street fight, or a mixed tag street fight. That's what I think it should be. Would Steve Austin consider doing an interview with me? PWC 24/7. I believe he will eventually do an interview with me. Chris Borozzo, thoughts on Keith Lee? He doesn't impress me. So again, 5 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern time, I'm interviewing Mark Kerr. Is Jake Hager still with Bellator? The last time he fought in Bellator, he kneed his opponent 3 times in the balls in the first round, and I haven't heard of him doing any MMA since then, or even planning on doing it. He has a nice AEW contract. Why would he fight for real and go through all the hassle of the training camps if he can get paid to work matches. So yeah, Hurricane says Cody and I should have a cage match full of chickens. I don't know. A cage match would be good, but I don't know about full of chickens. I think a street fight would be the best, whether it's a mixed street fight or one-on-one. I don't care. I'd like to see that happen. But again, I'm going to put out the fan compilation video. I've had over 70 fans send me in their predictions on who would win that match, and I'm going to put that out very shortly. So have a great weekend, everyone. 5 p.m. tomorrow, my Mark Kerr interview. Tune in.